Coming up on Carolina News, a storm is rising through the East Coast with a cold front coming right after. Plus, gas prices are surging. What does this mean for the normal commuter? But first, a new name for a bridge could honor a figure in politics.
Is that somebody you want to honor?
Carolina News starts now.
From the University of South Carolina, your news, your sports, your weather. Carolina News begins now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Brock Lambert.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Aiden Bro. After record high weather this past weekend hitting at almost 80 degrees, the entire East Coast is preparing for a dangerous storm.
Severe weather moved through the region today, but missed Columbia with multiple tornado warnings already being issued. We talked to students about their concerns.
Honestly, what concerns me most is just driving. The walking is fine, but it's everybody driving, building up traffic, and then, if one guy messes up, that ruins basically everything. And especially on Assembly Street or Blossom, if those get clogged up, then basically the whole city gets clogged up.
I mean, anytime you get high winds, especially in the Midlands, you got that risk of tornadoes. I think, thankfully, we haven't had any tornado warnings today. Hopefully it stays that way.
There was a tornado watch in the Midlands that would hit Columbia. The tornado watch has been lifted and there were no casualties. Schools all over the state have closed today due to the warning. Schools have not decided yet if classes will be canceled tomorrow concerning the freezing temperatures happening tonight.
Our very own Montreal Belton takes us into the greenhouse studio on how the weather is looking. Montreal, how's it looking out there?
Now I'm currently standing outside the weather studio, and don't worry, the tornado warning throughout the state has been lifted. Now, as you can see, as I stick my hand outside, the rain has lifted, and I have more for you on the weather update, the storm that passed through the state later on throughout the show. And I also have a winter storm advisory moving throughout the Midlands. I have more for you later on.
The war in Iran continues to escalate. The U.S. and Israeli forces are carrying out new airstrikes on Iranian military targets. While Iran has responded with missiles and drone attacks, the conflict is shaking global energy. With rising concerns about shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, world leaders are calling for the de-escalation, but officials say military operations are expected to continue.
President Donald Trump has demanded several countries send warships in order to keep the Strait of Hormuz open. However, he has received no commitments thus far. This comes in an attempt to police the waterway where 1/5 of the world's traded oil normally flows. Currently, the strait is currently off limits to the United States and its allies. President Trump made a very clear statement to the countries he is recruiting.
Demanding that these countries come in and protect their own territory.
Drivers across South Carolina are feeling the impact of rising gas prices. As costs at the pump continue to climb, many say it's putting extra pressure on their budgets. Our Becca Blessing has the story.
Gas prices are on the rise, and Columbia residents are already feeling the difference. Some gas stations have seen prices jump almost $1 in just the last week alone. Many are having to budget their spending and cut down on other costs in order to keep up with this increase.
Definitely gotta spend less on certain fun things like buy coffees and out to eat stuff.
This rise comes at an unfortunate time for travelers who are making their trips back from spring break, and some are spending over $100 for a single trip to the pump. The Midlands isn't the only area in South Carolina being affected. Similar prices are being seen in the upstate and low country as well, with the state average being at almost $3.50 per gallon. And if you're driving with diesel, you might want to look away as averages reach close to $5 per gallon.
Gas prices at local stations are reaching up to $3.44 a gallon, which is the highest they've been in 3 years. These prices are not only affecting those at the pump, but also inside the store.
Cashiers at some gas stations say higher prices are meaning fewer customers or drivers looking for cheaper options.
We're just losing customers.
Gas station cashiers are hoping prices will fall in the coming days to keep their customers at the pumps.
We value our customers, so we need to make a happy them. Yeah. So it should be go down.
Yeah.
Many locals are keeping an eye on averages and are hoping to see the prices go down soon. For Carolina News, I'm Becca Blessing.
Carolina News will keep you updated as the prices continue to change.
A funding dispute in Washington is beginning to impact airport security nationwide. The Department of Homeland Security remains partially shut down after Congress failed to pass a funding bill, leaving thousands of Transportation Security Administration officers working without pay. Some agents have called out or left their jobs, leading to staffing shortages and longer lines. Lawmakers are still working to reach a funding agreement. Until then, delays at airport security may continue. The state of Georgia is the most recent state to push legislation that would allow high school athletes to profit from their name, image, and likeness. I took a look at the current status of the bill and how that would affect our athletes here in South Carolina. The conversation involving name, image, and likeness, more widely known as NIL in high school sports, is now turning from a matter of if to a matter of when. This is Dylan Redden. As of today, he can't make a single dollar from NIL. He says he believes it's unfair, and the use of NIL would benefit a lot of kids in high school sports, especially the ones without all the scholarship offers.
It would be good for high school students to make some little extra money before they go to college.
However, if he were to move to another state, that wouldn't be the case, and he wouldn't have to go far. The state of Georgia has passed a bill through the House that is now in the Senate that would allow high school athletes to sign NIL contracts that would expire upon graduation. It allows athletes to work with brands as long as they don't use their high school's name or logo. This would make Georgia the 40th state to allow high school athletes to profit from NIL, and one of 5 that currently has legislation in place. The idea of sponsors being at the high school level isn't such a far-gone concept, and some, they walk by every single day. Ridgeview High School Athletics Director Brian Rosefield says sponsors in schools already have great relationships.
It's all about creating a win for them and a win for us.
I spoke with the commissioner of the South Carolina High School League, Jerome Singleton, just one day before this executive committee meeting discussing NIL. I asked him about the recent Georgia ruling, in which he told Carolina News.
As far as Georgia doing it, I'm not even familiar with that occurring.
But just 24 hours later, they've certainly taken notice.
That in the upstate, there has already been a student athlete that has left to go to Georgia from the upstate.
I asked Dylan, does he think moving out of state hurts the athletes that choose to do so?
Like I said, in some cases it might, in some cases it might not.
No legislation has been proposed to the South Carolina General Assembly, but the High School League is calling on the help of legislation, despite expressing major concerns regarding the pressure it creates in other states.
So if state legislators get involved and help us with that, it'd be a big help, because then it helps to codify what we have.
The South Carolina High School League bylaws are reviewed once a year, with their annual meeting occurring later this month.
Coming up on Carolina News, Charlie Kirk could have a bridge named after him. Hear about the details up next on Carolina News.